So, I was actually going to make a video about this yesterday, but I wanted to give time for people to grieve and not make this into a political thing or whatnot, because this is somebody's life. It should be respected. But, as we all know, Kim Jonghyun of SHINee committed suicide yesterday. And I'm still sitting here having my mind trying to process that this actually happened. Like, I know what happened, but my mind is just telling me, oh no, it didn't happen. It's just such a huge blow to the K-pop fandom. It really is. He was such a good person. He was my bias out of SHINee. So I can only imagine how it feels for fellow blingers, which if you didn't know, that's Jonghyun's fandom separately. That's what their names are, and that's what they're called, as blingers or bling. I can only imagine how hard it is, and I can only imagine how hard it is for SHINee themselves, the rest of SHINee, Ono, Taemin, Key, and Minho. I can only imagine how hard this must be for Junghyun's family. It's always surprised me that South Korea, and I think Korea in general, not just South Korea, but they have one of the highest suicide ratings, if not the highest suicide ratings, that they don't seem to care enough. I actually was watching a video earlier about this girl that lives in South Korea, and she was talking about mental health and suicide and why it's so taboo and why people commit suicide on a daily basis, actually. It's very sad. And Jonghyun was very vocal about mental health issues. He always talked about that stuff. And it didn't matter whether or not you knew SHINee or you listened to them or you had their group as a bias. You knew Jonghyun for how he was. He was very outspoken with a lot of things like LGBTQ rights, mental health. He always stood up for the underdog, and it's sad that he's gone. And it's so sad that there were a lot of signs that we all missed. We all missed. And I apologize for my hair. I just got out of the shower. But yeah, I'll put that video that I was talking about in my description so you guys can go check it out. I do recommend you watch it so you can kind of get an understanding of what is going on there. It's a bunch of issues combined into one thing. It's cultural, it's political, it's societal. I guess it has to do with culture. I'm not very sure. It's just one big, huge thing combined into one big problem, and it's very sad. I really don't know what else to say because I've pretty much said what I wanted to. But mental health is very confusing, and I don't have any mental health issues, so I can't speak from experience, but I've dealt with a lot of suicidal thoughts back in middle school because I was bullied a lot. And then I started failing my classes, and that just added to the pressure. So I know what it's like to go through that mental process of trying to convince yourself that you belong here. So I have a lot of empathy for people who struggle with mental health problems, and it's sad that your own mind can be your entire worst enemy for your entire life, and you have to have a constant battle with yourself. And it's so sad to me that people have to live with that day in and day out. In some places, like South Korea, you can't get help. or you can and you're just too afraid to because of how you feel with society and how they view it, because you don't want to tell people that you have depression or that you have anxiety, because people will look at you very weird and say, oh, that's not a real thing. But it is a real thing. And like I said, I didn't want to turn this into a political thing, but I really hope that this kind of really wakes up South Korea's government and the rest of the entertainment industry. And there's also a petition which I will put a link. I don't know if all the signatures are gone, but I will put that link in there too for having a mental health background check, or having more facilities open for idols and people in general all around in the entertainment industry, not just in South Korea, not just in K-pop, but for people who struggle with mental health on a daily basis to get help and be able to seek professional help. So I will put those links in the description as well. But that's all I wanted to say. My condolences go out to his family, his friends, the rest of SHINee, and just anybody in general who struggles with this on a daily basis. You guys are true fighters, and I applaud you for fighting through this. Please do not let go. Keep fighting.